Welcome to Kevjet, the podcast. Cass UK, founder and CEO of Tolicious.
Kev, nice having me. How are you doing today, by the way?
Good. It's very warm, isn't it?
It is, but we are a bit chilly where we are. We're in the northeast of England. So we are in the coldest part of the country. So that's the weather we have today.
I've got 30 degrees in London.
Lucky you.
I have my little Beyonce fan in front of me. If there wasn't so much hairspray in my hair, you would see my hair moving.
Flying all about the place. Yeah.
Before you became the founder of Tolicious,
Yeah.
which we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
who was Cass and what experiences first shaped the woman that you are today?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a deep question.
It's a big question.
It is. It is. Well, I'm going to start from the beginning. I was born in Nigeria, in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and my mom, growing up, she had a maternity, so she would help deliver the babies in the community where we grew up. I quickly realized like it wasn't just delivering babies, so she would, help with the family, and it went from just being a midwife to family planning to having a chemist where people would come in and buy. But that also taught me about entrepreneurship and community building and also wellness. So I grew up in that environment, but at the age of 18, graduating from out of high school, I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do. I've had all this experience, but what is it I want to do? But deep down, I knew I wanted to go into a career where I would be able to help people, but I wasn't sure what that would be. My mom at the moment was living in the Caribbean island of Dominica, and she called me up one day and she said, "What do you want to do with your life?" I was like, "I'm not sure yet." She said, "Well, I've got two options for you. Do you want to study medicine in Nigeria? And or you can come to Dominica and study nursing. They're taking nursing students in at the moment. Whichever option you choose between these two, you have a foundation and you can change, in the future. But you have a foundation that's gonna layer you into helping people." And I chose the option that had me to travel. So I took the option as well. And I ended up in the Caribbean island of Dominica. I lived there for almost 10 years. I studied in Dominica, and I then I moved to London after my studies. I ended up in a care home where I was like the floor manager. And I also worked in a private hospital. During working at the private hospital, that's when I started Tolicious. I realized there is a gap in the UK health system where we do not have enough education, and we do not have a lot of preventative measures as well. So our motto at Talisha says self-care is not selfish, it's survival. So we try to get people to make sure that they're taking care of themselves. They shouldn't feel selfish about it, because sometimes we feel selfish about taking time off. We feel selfish about saying no. We feel selfish about saying, you know what, it's about me today. I need to refill my cup so I can be able to pour more into others. And all of this came in from my clinical experience, my experience seeing the women around me as well, especially my mom, who poured into everyone else but herself. And this shaped all what we do here at
Wow.
Tolicious, and also my own personal journey.
Wow. What did all those different cultures, because if you were moving around, there were different cultures, what did they teach you about how people experience illness, healing, and care? Because every culture is a bit different.
Yeah, that's
Has that like has that come into Delicious at all?
100%, 100%. So, for example, the self-care is not selfish lead heavily towards my Nigerian community growing up. Because I mean, like even the women in the UK also are saying this same thing. But I think heavily in Nigeria, it's like women tend to be like with me. I was even having a conversation with my mom. I was mummified. Like I had a responsibility of taking care of my younger brothers. Even though I'm young, at the age of like 8, 9, 10, I knew how to like change the nappies, do all of this stuff as well. Which you grow up, you realize, you know what, I haven't had time to take care of myself. And then I saw my mom as well. She had this maternity. It was all about the community. It was all about taking care of other people. And also growing up into adulthood, I realized she was a bit snappy sometimes, you know. But I think that comes with her not taking time off to take care of herself because she was taking care of everyone else. And then this is what it is. Now in the Caribbean, it's quite different. The Caribbean culture is more relaxed, especially Dominica, it's more relaxed. People's like, take your time, take your time, take your time. And that's what it is. But I think it's like, it comes in a different way where also people get a bit more complacent with what they eat and all of that. So we have like something like diabetes hypertension, which is like, very, very prominent in that aspect. Now we come over to the UK. I think the UK culture is getting similar to what we have in Nigeria, right? Everyone is on this rat race, especially in London. We want to pay the bills. We want to do this as well. We're not taking time off and taking a step back to take care of ourselves.
It's so true. It's so true. It's a rat race. If anyone has ever been in the underground at rush hour, it's a rat race. I guess, was nursing something that you always felt called to do, or was it something that you gradually fell in love with?
I think it's something I've gradually fell in love with, but I love the idea of it giving me that gateway to be able to help people. So that is the key point there for me.
That's my background as well. And that's why I was waiting to tell you while we were recording. And so I worked for the NHS for years and then moved over to private as well. So I completely understand where you see the gap, because as healthcare professionals, we don't look after ourselves, do we?
No.
We're too busy looking after everybody else, but we do it well.
Yeah, that's the fear as well. It's like we take care of everyone else but ourselves, which is like that there needs to be a shift where we're looking after ourselves as well, because we can be able to show up better, be able to give a better version of ourselves to the people we're taking care of. And it's important as well. And it also comes to us giving ourselves permission to do that, where we don't feel selfish about doing it. And also letting the people we're taking care of know that, you know what, if I take care of myself better, I can be able to present better and be able to do my job properly.
Yeah. The one amazing thing, though, about working in healthcare is the bond that we make with our coworkers, because that becomes our family. We spend more time with them than we do with our own family at home. And that's one thing that I find very special.
No, I love that as well. So a good example is like when we moved from London to Newcastle, right? I'm going to tell you this story. We didn't know anyone. I was working at a private hospital in London at the moment. And I met my husband in London, not at the hospital, by the way, but we met him in London. And we was getting married. And then we said, we don't want to live in London. We're looking for a different city. Manchester came up, Glasgow, all the places. And a lady at my workplace said, why don't you try Newcastle? I think it's a beautiful city. Everyone there is lovely. So we booked the train. We came here and we moved a few weeks after that. So I started working with NHS. I didn't know anyone in Newcastle. My husband didn't know anyone in Newcastle. We just moved. I quickly realized like the people that I work with became my family. So they would tell me where to go, what to do, and all of that. So this is very, very important, especially in nursing. Especially in nursing, it's very important because we can lean, towards each other.
Totally. So nurses are expected to remain strong when you're witnessing people when they're most vulnerable. What did the profession teach you about humanity?
It's nursing. I think nursing is about it's about humanity. That's what it is, because you get to also see people going through days, but you get to be a professional at it as well, but also having that empathy to be able to understand, like, what I can put myself in this person's shoe to understand what they're feeling and how can I be able to help. And also emotional intelligence as well, being that emotional intelligent to understand what that person is feeling. If you do not have that in nursing, you cannot be able to deliver, a holistic care. So I did learn a lot of that in nursing. I did.
You mentioned your mom, how you saw that she was caught up in looking after everybody else and not herself. Did you find that once you started working in nursing that started happening to you?
Oh yeah, 100%. And it was like a mirror. I started understanding what my mom was going through, what she was feeling. And I would say, what, I'm not gonna get caught up with this. I always said I'm not gonna get caught up with this. And that's what I keep on speaking to my mom. Like recently, I was just with her this weekend anyways. So I'm telling her, she's still working as a nurse, by the way. She's still working. And that's all she's done her life, by the way. Came out of high school, went into nursing, did midwifery, and that's all she's done her whole life. But I'm telling her now she needs to take care of herself. I've given her a copy of my book. I went over this weekend to see her in Belgium. I brought my products over to her. She needs to put herself first. And I kept on telling her that.
What does she think about you and what you're doing now?
I think I would say, my mom is one of my biggest supporter. She's one of my biggest supporters. I'm not going to say anything. Like I said, she told me, whatever career you decide to go towards later on in life, you have that nursing as a foundation. And also with my background in growing up in Nigeria, they always want you to go into a profession. You either become a nurse, a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer. because they think everything else is like it's a waste of time, you know. so I think she still understands that I'm still in that path to be able to help people, but I'm no longer working full time as a nurse, but I'm still on that path to also help people, which is fulfilling.
Of course it is. How about yourself? Becoming a mother, did it make you feel more powerful or did it make you feel vulnerable or maybe both at the same time?
Becoming a mom did everything for me. And I tell this story as well. Like almost 2 years ago, that's when I gave birth to my little boy, Jacob. I almost lost my life. And that was the switch moment for me, by the way.
Mhm.
So I had all of this concept, all of this idea of what I wanted to do with, self-care, Tolicious, help people do this and all of that. But I didn't have that courage to leave my full-time job as a nurse because that was like my stability. That was my security. That was all of that. But at that point of me losing my life 2 years ago, I realized like life is so short. Why don't you just go all in and be able to do what you want to do? I mean, you try, you give it all, you try, you try. If it doesn't work out, got the certificate, go back to working as a nurse. And that was the courage. That was the courage I had. And I've never looked back. I went all in after my maternity leave into working with Tolicious. And recently we just got funded and the brand is scaling and growing. And if I didn't take that chance and that bet on myself, I don't know what I would have done today because I wasn't happy with what I was doing at the moment because I felt like I could do more. There are things that I could change. But because of obviously I'm working with NHS, there are rules and regulations, there are things I cannot be able to shift and change. But if I have my own brand, I can be able to make those changes and be able to do it without any, hierarchy and all of that, regulations and stuff with
Yeah,
it.
totally. What do you wish more people understood about postpartum health and the pressure placed on new mothers who appear fine? Because they do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So postpartum is something that, especially postpartum depression, PPD, is something that happens to a lot of women after having birth, but sometimes they don't realize it. They don't realize it's happening unless you are conscious of it and understand it as well. That's when, like with me, I went through postpartum depression. I didn't even realize it was happening until at some point I realized, why am I getting snappy at everything? Why is everything getting me upset? And it's a conversation I'm have with my husband. And I say, by the way, this is our first baby. This is new. And I think I'm going through postpartum depression. I would advise you be a bit more patient with me. You know, maybe that's why I'm getting a bit more snappy. So I think people need to realize it's real and also be able to have that communication with your partner for them to also understand. Because if you don't communicate that with your husband or your partner, whoever it is, they probably won't understand what is happening.
Mm.
And you realize, like statistically, a lot of marriage separates or break up after having a baby because people don't understand what is going on. That's not the same person I married. What happened to you? So this is what it is. And yeah, so that's what people need to realize, that it's real and be able to walk through it and overcome it.
How do you recommend people have self-care in when life is chaotic? People don't really have a lot of money to throw around. Your children always need you. So how do you get those extra few moments in the day if you have that sort of chaotic life? It's the rat race. You live in a big, well, wherever you are. And how do you recommend people just find those few moments in the day to like for themselves?
Yeah. That's something we always say, we're busy. We don't have time.
Yeah.
But we always have time for something that we deem important. That's what it is. If we realize and say, you know what, self-care is a priority, it's important that we're going to find time for it. The time we're using to scroll on our phone, we can use that to self-care. And it doesn't have to be like a big spa day. We're going on a spa, we're going on a big travel. It can be like 30 minutes break. Shut down your eyes, shut down the phone, and just, let your mind relax. That is self-care. That is you tuning into your own self. You don't have to spend money to do that. And that's what it is. Also finding community of people that are aligned. Actually, as new mom, we always have community of people like like-minded as well, that are moms as well. We can tune into our community and see what support we can get from there. These are also free. It's not paid. So these are things we can also, do. And also with Tolicious, what we do here at Tolicious as well, we have community of women who, lean towards each other. We try to bring our products to market where it's not so expensive because we don't want people to feel like it's so luxury. For me to be able to get into self-care and skincare and all of that and supplement, it has to be so expensive now. So there are a lot of things we can do there that shouldn't break a bank.
What is your favorite product?
Oh, with Tolicious at the moment, I've always loved the gummies. I've always loved the gummies because they won us an award last year as the most innovative nurse-led wellness brand. They've got 15 plant-based ingredients in there. And it did help me quite a lot after having a baby because it helped me with my bloating and also supported my energy levels. So that has been my all-time favorite product. But at the moment, it changes all the time, by the way. At the moment, is our turmeric scrubs. It's a turmeric scrub. So it's very good as well. People on TikTok or community on TikTok are loving it as well. And, it helps with your skin and all of that. So I love that. And also, people might be listening like, what does that have to do? Now, when you have burnout also affects your gut health. Burnout affects your skin as well. So it manifests mentally. You are exhausted and it can also manifest physically. And that's why we have the product right here to also help you to take care of yourself in a holistic approach.
Love it. I love it. I spent a lot of time looking at your website and it's very interesting. How did the idea of Delicious first come to you and what personal need were you trying to answer?
Yeah, very, very, very important as well. So with Tolicious, the goal at the beginning was a tea that's gonna help people. That's where the name tea came about, Tolicious. It was just gonna be a tea brand for like bloating. It was gonna be a tea brand to help you sleep, to help you relax and stuff like that. And then we say, how can we make it nice for people to be able to enjoy it? Because most of the products out there when we launch, we are like, it's either wellness and rubbish, like rubbish test. Like people would, I don't like this, but it's healthy. So you're forced out to take it, or it's either so good and nice, but it's not healthy. So how can we be able to match that? And that's how Delicious came about. It was delicious tea. And we launched with a tea, which our community loved, but then we launched with a gummy. And we quickly realized our community loved the gummy more than the tea because it was easier to fit into their routine, into their bag. So we listened to our community and we started refining. And then they started asking for skincare. How about skincare? We said, okay, that's fine. We can bring in skincare. So I started doing the body butters myself in my kitchen, took it to the market. We did our first pop-up at the Westfield Mall in London. They loved it. And that's how we started, adding and growing. We're trying not to expand so much at the moment. So we're offering well-being services to corporate clients. And that's what we're doing with Tolicious. But yeah, the concept was just to bring in the tea.
And look where you are now. Have you had to sacrifice anything in your personal life for the business?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes people see like the awards, the PR, all of that. They think, whoa, everything is all good at the back end. But I'm gonna be realistic about that as well. It's not of like there are times I have to work like till midnight at the business. So this means that my husband don't get to see me and my kid don't get to see me. So these are sacrifices I'm making with the business as well. But I also have to like strike a balance. So for example, this weekend I say, you know what? I'm shutting down everything and I'm taking time off. So we traveled with my kid, my husband, and all of that. But I also have support system. So I'm not doing it by myself. So I've got my dad has come in to help in terms of like childcare aspect. My mother-in-law is with us at the moment and, taking care of little Jacob. So I'm not sacrificing that aspect where I'm neglecting my kid. I'm making sure that there is family there to take care of him whilst I work with Solutions.
That's nice. So you became the first Black female founder to secure Spark funding through Northeast Accelerator program. That's huge. What did the breakthrough mean to you personally? Was it a goal you had set for yourself or did it just randomly happen?
It wasn't a goal, to be honest. It just randomly happened. But it came after that, I saw it as a validation that someone is actually, someone is actually, how do I say it? Not really watching, because they weren't watching. I'm sure that someone has validated that what I'm doing actually makes sense. That's what it is. Sometimes as founders, as CEO, we create something, we can get so obsessed with what we've created and we don't look at it and say, are people actually going to love this? Are people actually going to actually need this or validate it? Now, when you get that outside validation, it means, okay, I'm doing something right here. So I should keep on going, I shouldn't give up.
It gives you that speed. It gives you that energy to be like, okay, I need to keep doing this, and I'm doing a good thing. It's great.
Yes, that's what it did for me. That's what it did for me. And the fund that actually did help us in terms of like, pouring more money into the business, be able to refine and bring in a bit more new products into the market and, pour that into marketing and keep the lights going. So,
Yeah. So I read that you passed the NCLEX and you turned down a six-figure nursing opportunity in the States. What did that decision actually cost you? And did choosing purpose give you
yes, so I passed the NCLEX exam. That is the USA exam for nursing license. And I got offered a job in Tennessee and I turned it down after a while because I felt like it wasn't aligning to where I wanted to go with my career. So it was a six-figure job to work in the healthcare and also fac. And I still say, you know what? It's still me going to work into institutions. Why don't I put that energy into building my own brand, which is what I'm very much passionate about.
Yeah,
But it did cost me that money. It did cost me that money. It did cost me that American dream. American dream is something like everyone dreams of American dream. So it did cost me that. But for me, it's about purpose. It's about purpose and about if I don't have purpose and I don't have that drive and the thing I want to do, I feel like I'm not going to give it my best. I don't want to be in a career where I'm not giving my best. I want to be able to do something that I have purpose and passion for it. So I can be able to bring in the best version of myself into it and be able to make it work.
exactly. It's all yours. How do you know when you're following your purpose rather than simply chasing another achievement?
Yep. When I don't feel like I'm burning out, that's what it is. And burnout shows in pressure. You have pressure on your shoulders. You've got
Hmm.
headache right here at the bridge of your nose. And you feel like, you're just pushing up a hill. And, so whenever I feel like that, I realize, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is what it is. So with Tolicious, nothing has changed, by the way. People think like I've got my business and you know what? Whoa, that's luxury. Like I said, I work with Tolicious sometimes till midnight, but I never feel like it's work for me. I don't feel that pressure because I enjoy what I'm doing. I feel like, you know what? This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be. So that's the difference.
I totally get that. That's how I feel with doing the podcast. It's like it's not work at all. And sometimes you can be like you said, you're sat at the laptop for you look at the clock and it's like, oh gosh, it's like 2 a.m, or it's like it's a crazy time. But you're like, this is so good. Like I love what I'm doing. And you just keep going. I love that. And you don't have somebody behind you being, oh, you have to work from this time to this time. And why did you have a break at this time? And
No pressure.
exactly, exactly. Through the Tolicious Way, the Blueprint Academy, and Healing Chat, you're now helping other people transform their lives. So, what wound in you became the wisdom you now share?
What wound?
Yeah,
How many of the wounds? It's been a lot. It's been a lot. A lot of them, some of them healed as we come along. Some of them still healing. But I think the wound was that point of me having been rushed into the theater to have the emergency section that could have costed my life and my son's life. And at that point, that's when I realized, you know what, it is, I could have just passed away with all those dreams. And then, you know what, I hear this all the time where people say, I don't know how to say it, but I'm just going to explain. Maybe you will help me formulate it.
sure.
Where they say, if you the wealthiest place is in the grave. Is that how they say it?
Yeah, yeah,
Where people die with all their goals and knowledge and all the things they wanted to do, you
yep.
know. So, and I realized that could have been me. So that powered me to be able to do what I'm doing and also helping other women or people in my situation to be able to achieve their dream. I've always been, like I said, a sense of community. I've always been like, everyone that knows me knows, like, wow, if I find something, I go right there and I find a gold, I'm going to call other people to come and look for. Come, this is what I find, come and be part of it. And that's what I'm doing with Blueprint Academy at the moment. I'm trying to get people, do you know you can get funding for your business? Ooh, there's a way you can get funding. Do you know there's a way you can build community and be able to, get your business out there? You don't have to do it alone. There's a better way to do it. You don't have to like grind and grind by yourself. And that's what I'm doing essentially. And with Tolicious Way, which is my book, available on Amazon, by the way, it does a deep dive in on like my postpartum journey, my burnout journey working with NHS, how to say no, how to also feel like, you're getting burnt out and be able to say no. Because that's what sometimes we find difficult to do. Saying no, say yes, keep on saying yes until you burn out and you run on empty. So Talicious Way does a deep dive in onto that.
When your son gets older and he realizes what happened upon his arrival and what you survived and what you built, What do you hope that he's going to take from that?
I hope he learns like resilience and also not looking at things from negative side, but looking at it from a positive side. Like something traumatic like that happened to me. I didn't sit down and cry all day, which is okay. It's okay to cry. I cried sometimes anyways. But I said, how can I make this better? How can I, turn this into something? So I hope he takes that away and don't sit down and cry like no one is coming to save you. You need to
Yeah.
get up and do something for yourself. And that's
Yeah.
what
He's definitely going to know he's come from strong genes. That's for sure.
my husband says that all the time, by the way. Yes.
If you could sit beside Cass during her darkest postpartum moment and tell her what was waiting on the other side, knowing what you know now,
Yeah.
what would you tell her?
Don't give up. It's going to get better. That's what I would tell her. And also with the funding. So what happened is why I strapped Tolicious with the money I had saved up. And then with the money I was working for my nursing. So obviously I was off work for a year. And so I didn't have that funding to be able to keep on funding Tolicious. So we had lots of product that I bought, but we ran out of money for marketing, which is something I would have gotten money from my NHS job to be able to power on the marketing. But I say, you know what? I'm just going to find a way to be able to do this. And I woke up and I realized TikTok was booming. Everyone was on TikTok. And I started going live on TikTok every morning. So I wake up, feed my baby, put him to sleep, and I'll put TikTok and I'll go live on TikTok. And what I quickly realized, like I went live the first time, I was shy, I was nervous, I couldn't speak. But because I had that goal of what I wanted to do, I had to find a way to do it. So I quickly realized, wow, it was easier for me to connect with my community on TikTok because I would go live and they would ask me questions. And I also started speaking about my journey and what I did. And I was like, oh, wow. And they started buying the products right there. So that means that that gave me courage to say, oh, okay, there's a way, there's another way. And when I went to the investors, I told them this is what I'm doing with Tolicious and I'm going live stream. But I need money to be able to keep on going and to be able to hire more people to be able to help me with the live stream. And because they saw the numbers and what I've already done, they were able to fund that dream to be able to keep me going. So it's all like having that mindset and say, you know what, I want to be able to do this, but how can I be able to do it and find a way? But that wouldn't have come if I didn't have that traumatic experience to be able to say, you know what, this is the only way if you don't want to go back, find a way to be able to do it. And that was the push and the drive. And also with Blueprint Academy, what I also tell women when I mentor them is like the CEO mindset, the mindset shift, going from like, you know what, the 95 to CEO. How do you have that mindset shift? Because it's very, very powerful. You know, you can have all these dreams and all these goals, and I want to go and do my own job. I want to go and do this. I want to become my own CEO. Until you have that mindset shift, it's going to be difficult for you to be able to transition and be able to do something for yourself.
Did you find it difficult to navigate through social media and find your niche? Was it difficult to find that community?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I'll come on social media, I'll post this today, I'll post that tomorrow, I'll post that today. And then I quickly started realizing that I have to have a niche. People are gonna connect with me if they're familiar with what I'm posting. And that niche is like wellness. That's what I'm selling. That's what I need to be talking about. And even when the idea for Blueprint Academy came up with my personal brand, Cass UK, I was also struggling at how can I be able to connect the two. And I realized, okay, I know why. I know why I'm getting the signal and how can I connect the two. I realized like most of the people that I'm trying to sell wellness to, the product, and tell them you don't take care of yourself, they probably don't have the money to be able to do this. They're also trying to leave their 9 to 5 and become their own CEO and have that financial freedom. And this means they can be able to take time off. Because I can decide, you know what, today I don't want to work till 12 midnight. I want to go home and sleep. I can afford to do that. But if I'm working at a 9 to 5, I cannot just do that. I cannot just lock up and go. So how can I be able to give that to the women and that are buying my product that can be able to afford this flexibility? And that's where Blueprint Academy came in. So it's still like that money wellness, that money mindset is still like interlocks and be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, but in a more holistic way. And also they do not have to get stuck in a job where they're not happy. That job that is not, I mean, like becoming your own CEO is not for everyone, but there are women out there who are not happy in their job. They want to quit that job. They want to be able to build something for themselves, but don't know how to start. And they do not realize that, you know what? the skills I've accumulated for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years in the job I'm doing right now, I can use that skill to be able to build something for myself. I can use that skill to mentor other people, coach other people, but it requires someone to come and tell them that. So that is where the mindset shift comes in. And that's where I step in and be able to help them figure that out.
I love your story because it's such a success story because it's such a dark time brought all this beautiful stuff into your life now, but it's not just into your life because you're giving it all back to everybody else. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Anything we can do to give back, I love that. Anything that's happening, like how can I give back to my community? How can I give back to people? And I think it came from my mom, but I'm doing it in a more holistic way, and where I'm self-caring for myself, and I'm telling the women and the people I'm mentoring. We don't only, I mean, like my community is mostly women. We also have men in our community as well, but it's about taking care of ourselves. Why is doing it?
I'm a huge believer in you get from the world what you give to the world.
Oh, yeah.
And you're exhibit A.
That's a sample.
It totally is. I like to go into Kevjet's quick fire questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So describe Cass in 3 words.
Oh, energetic. I'm also optimistic. And I'm also consistent, persistent. You're going to hear from me. I'm like, yeah.
Those are great words to be described by. I can tell you that. Your first thought when the alarm goes off in the morning.
Oh, I need to get up. I need to get up. I say that to myself like 3, 4, 5 times. There are days where it's difficult to get out of bed for me. But I think like, because I mentally say, I need to get up. I need to do this. So I say that to myself 3, 4, 5 times, like I have to get up.
Your morning routine or morning chaos. I feel like you probably have a routine.
Yeah, it's become a routine. So I'm someone that is like a late nighter, so I'll go to bed late at night and I wake up late. So I'm not an early morning person. So I wake up late in the morning and then I'll follow my routine and then I can go to bed late. That's me.
I go to bed late, but I'm an early person. I get up really early as well. So I don't get a lot of sleep because I find at night everything is so quiet and it's perfect time to be creative. And early morning is the same for me because everything's still peaceful. The city's like you can hear the birds. It's quite nice. And so yeah, I'm that as well.
Yeah.
Coffee, tea, or Tolicious creation.
Tolicious creation every day. Yeah. I love the Tolicious tea anyways, but I love the gummies because it's easier to fit into my routine. But I would take tea any day over coffee.
One well-being habit you refuse to skip.
Oof. What is it? Taking a quick nap. Taking a quick nap. It's because whenever I'm at work, my brain never stops. There's always something thinking of, oh, are we gonna do a new product? What is a new business? How do we pivot? How do we network? How do we do this? So if I get a chance to take a quick nap, yes, I'm taking it.
What is the quickest way to lift your mood?
My mood. Tell me about a new business idea. Yeah, that's it.
What is a song that instantly makes you feel unstoppable?
I'm unstoppable. Yes.
Heels, trainers, or bare feet at home?
No, bare feet at home. Yeah, I wear heels going out, but at home I just wanna, unleash, be free. That's yeah.
What is your most used phrase as a mother?
As a mom, is it like using it with my kid?
Yeah.
I think I've said that before. No one is gonna give you anything for free.
True.
I don't know why.
It's so true.
Oh, he's not 2 years old. I don't even know why.
You're raising a CEO.
Kid, he's not even 2 years old, and I'm telling him that, but it's good. It's good. So it's gonna get him to understand like this is how the real world works.
Exactly. And my mom taught me that.
Yeah.
She lived it. Yeah. What is your favorite Nigerian comfort food?
I love egusi soup.
What is the bravest no that you've ever said?
What is there? I've been saying so much no recently. The most recent one is turning down a lot of podcast appearance, and because I realize I'm getting a lot of like requests coming on the podcast, and I'm like I'm starting to say no because I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna get burnt out if I don't say no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which I love going on the podcast. I love having a chat, but I'm saying no. I'm saying no to some now. Yes.
That's great. I have had to find that in me because I'm not good at saying no. And I find that I'm picking and choosing things that that are good for me that I'm going to enjoy, not just things because they're an opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. That also aligns with your goals. That's right.
That's right. Yeah. What's one business rule that you happily break?
You know what? I tell people about their price. Don't undersell yourself, but I'm guilty of that. So actually, if it's something that I know, what, I'm gonna enjoy doing that. I feel like it's not a job. I'll sometimes undersell, which is not good. I'm
True.
guilty of it.
It's true. What does success smell like?
I think success is like it's not too much because sometimes people feel like it's too much money. It's not what it is. I want to be in my well-being era where it's having the money as well, But I don't want to have the money and I'm burnt out. I cannot even enjoy it or all of that. So it should smell like wellness. That's what it is, and being healthy while enjoying whatever monetary value that comes with that.
Yeah. What would you tell your 18-year-old self, but you can only use 5 words?
I thought it's just gonna be 18-year-old self. Be more consistent. Yeah, be more consistent. Don't give up. I feel like I consider myself a very creative person, but I could have done more with my life if I was consistent. So a lot of things I would start and I would stop, start and I would stop. So I realized like in the last few years when I started getting a bit more consistent, things actually change. So if I told my 18-year-old self, be consistent, don't give up, I would have been farther.
You seem like you're so success driven, but in a positive way. Because if I don't know if that even makes sense, but you see people, men, women, whoever,
Yeah.
they have that drive and they know what they want to hit. They have targets. You just seem like you're constantly thinking of these great ideas, but it's to help people. And that's beautiful.
It is, I think that's my mom gene. She's passing away, So yeah, definitely. And I think like, what's life purpose? If you just live and you just have, and the people around you don't have, and I see this quite often, which is like, yeah. And I mean, with my culture, by the age of 18, 19, they expect you like to get married, have as much kids, and that's what it is. If you make it, you make it, and it's just all about you and the family and the kids you brought on. And and it's just different for me. I didn't want to have kid at the beginning because I felt like there are other ways I can give back to the world without having children, which is quite opposite to what my culture says. My culture says you have kids and that's what you give to the world. And whatever saying you've made is for you to live for your kids, not for other people. But I look at it from a different perspective where I have Jacob right now, that's fine. But I don't want to have any more children. There are other ways I can give back to the world without having more children and all of that. So this is the way I look at things.
Beautiful. What do you hope your children will say about you in 20 years? Or actually your child, because you're going to just have Jacob. What do you hope he's going to say about you in 20 years?
Well, hopefully I don't have because I'll be saying that so much. And then I saw a video of a lady that got pregnant while she was on contraceptive and it was her plan. So I hope not. Yeah, well, my child. I hope in the next 20 years he's gonna be proud of like the work that I've done and the things I've put out in the world and the community I've impacted and built. And I hope like he can be able to cherish that and be able to carry on the legacy.
Yeah. Finish this sentence. I survived so that I could.
Oh gosh, why is that coming in? So that I could help other people out. That's what it is. Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. You're doing that every day.
Yes.
I think it's beautiful. How can listeners who have fallen in love with you now that they've heard you, and if they didn't know about you before, they definitely have fallen in love and they're going to be like, okay, I need to find this woman. How do I find her?
Yes. So casukonline.com is my personal brand website. It's cast with double S and then ukonline.com. And check out also as well, Tolicious.com. That's the wellbeing brand. But I think people are finding it easier with Cast UK because it's just Cast UK Online. So we're all over. I mean, like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn as well. And come connect, come be part of our community. We're looking for more people like us in the community who can be able to uplift and be able to share more positive in the world.
I'm going to share all those links below the episode so people don't even have to go and Google. They can just click the link and they can they can see you and all the wonderful things you do. And keep doing what you're doing because it's beautiful, and we need more people like you in the world.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having me as well, Kev.
I loved meeting you, and I loved our conversation, and I can't wait to share it with the world.
No, nice, nice. It was really nice. Coming on. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.